Hi there. Today we're diving into a topic that hits a little too close to home, our safety here in Dallas. While some parts of the city feel safer than others, the truth is you can never truly let your guard down. I'm Sarah Subiata Bennett, and this is a hard reality I've had to face, especially after a couple of terrifying experiences right in Highland Park. One of those moments involved my daughter Liliana, and she's here with me today to share her perspective on what happened. I've also invited my niece, Bryce Martin, to join us to talk about a troubling experience she went through. Together, we'll unpack these stories and reflect on what they've taught us about staying vigilant. Here's a takeaway I hope you'll leave with. Until we have enough police officers to meet the demands of our city, we all have a role in protecting ourselves and our loved ones. Thank you for tuning into this important conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who might need to hear it. Hi there, I'm Sarah. This is Alicia.
Hi.
Alicia, where are you from?
I'm from Kazakhstan. Central Asia.
Central Asia. So she is my and the kids' private tennis coach. And we're here in a beautiful neighborhood in Highland Park, very known for being very safe. But one of the last times we were here, we were playing at a court that is now under construction.
Yep.
And it was a very unfortunate event that particular day. It was hot summer, and so we were very happy to be on the court, which is covered with foliage on the northern, eastern, and the southern sides. And as we were there, she was giving my daughter Liliana and myself a private lesson. And at that point, we, while playing, spotted a group of, how many guys was it?
It was like
six or seven, yeah, something like that. And they were not old. They were younger, like maybe 20s, maybe late teens or 20s. And they were not small. They looked like they were Latinos. What caught my eye was that none of them had a tennis racket, and something inside of me just told me to run to Alicia's side of the court where my purse was sitting, and I had a gun in it, because they were stringing their hands kind of along the chain link fence that was just like this, wasn't it, Alicia?
Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah, so they were kind of doing that bit along the chain link fence, and I saw them eyeing the three of us in there. So I sprinted across the court, which is the same size as this, from that side all the way to that southern side at the other court. And I held up my purse, and they knew that within it I had a gun, because I guess my stance, and then I asked Alicia and Liliana to stand to the back of me. At that point, right kind of when I was holding the gun, they had the latch to enter from the eastern side of the court opened, but then at that point, they shut it.
They closed it and they just went away.
Yep, then
like up the stairs.
Exactly, then they walked up the stairs. I did not call Highland Park Police, which I should have. I think it's because I didn't know if my gut instinct was correct, that they were there to cause harm in some way. I almost was in disbelief. Actually, I was in disbelief, because I thought, this is a neighborhood where it's renowned for being extremely safe, and certainly this didn't just happen here. What were your feelings after that?
I was kind of like, it was weird. Like, we saw like seven
Yeah,
men just
yeah.
walk in, and
Men.
like
Big guys.
it's very scary, you know.
Very.
And I was facing the entrance with my back, so I didn't really see what they did.
Yep.
But I saw like you kind of like getting, how do I say, like aware
Prepared,
of
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, like something is up. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I did tell you, like, sometimes I gotta like remind myself that I'm in America. Like,
Yeah.
anything can happen, so that's kind of like scary.
Yeah, it's really scary. So the reason we're even talking about this, and the reason I'm going to be in the studio later today with Liliana having her tell this story, is because every person needs to understand that no matter where you think you are not excluded or exempt from something possibly happening. And the next day after that happened at the tennis court, Liliana and I were at her dermatologist, and she said, "Mommy, do you have a gun in that purse?" And I said, "I do." And she said, "I'm so happy that you carry that. I think that's the only reason that those men didn't come into the court." And it was just a horrible thought, feeling, all of it. So thanks for listening.
Tell me what you remember about that particular day when you were there taking your lesson and I had joined you.
Well, so, I kind of just started, we started warming up, and then we started just passing. Then you joined us after solid 30 minutes. And then there was these guys, and you remember they,
Of course.
came down when they walked, and I think they were trying to get into the gate.
They did. So they walked directly on the eastern side of the chain link fence. There was a chain link fence there. And I don't know what caused me to sprint from the northern side of the court over to the southern side. Remember, my purse was over at the bench? Mm-hmm. So I sprinted over to it. And then I had you and Alicia stand to the side and behind me. Mm-hmm. What else do you remember after that?
I remember that
How many were there?
there was 6, I think, 6 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of them.
Yep.
There was a whole group.
Do you remember how old they looked?
They looked like 25.
Yep. They looked
and then
young.
they had baggy clothes on.
Really baggy.
Like dirty and all. I was just they looked like in the hood. I'm
They
sorry,
looked like
guys. They were. And so.
Maybe they're from a different part of town for sure.
And I don't think they were aware of the area that we were in.
Or maybe they were.
Or maybe they were, and they're just being not smart in that situation. And I remember they put their hand on the lock to
Oh, the
come in.
latch.
The
That's
latch,
right. So they were standing there, and they were all going to come in into the area, but they didn't. They didn't whenever they saw me.
Put your hand in your purse.
In my purse, and
you were
they knew I
just
had my
ready.
gun.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And were you scared or not really?
I was a little scared because I was just unaware. I was aware, but
I don't think
not
you or
used
Miss
to
Alicia were fully aware of what was happening.
And I was not used to that, a situation like that. So I was just a little awkward, and I was and then I felt not as scared because you were there, and I knew you had your gun, and I knew you would you could defend yourself and us, because I knew you had a gun, and so I wasn't that scared.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just
An unnerving situation.
yes.
It was really different. When Miss Alicia described it today, she said it was weird. And remember, she said, whenever it was all over, she said, I forget that I'm in America sometimes. And so as a mom, as a parent, as a person, a woman, right? Those were 6 guys that were coming into that place where we were playing tennis. Do you think that they would have been as likely to come in there if we had a guy with us?
In the gate, in the tennis court?
Uh-huh.
No, and if you weren't there, I think they would have came in the gate.
Yeah.
And then it would just be me and her. Yes, I do.
Yeah, and that's something that makes me sick to think about. You know how upset I was by it. But because I think about all of my friends, my family, who don't arm themselves and aren't ready to protect themselves. So now I carry a gun, and I also carry pepper spray that I hand to people should I need to, so that they have pepper spray, so that I'm not the only one who has some form of self-defense weapon.
Yeah, so they can protect themselves,
And it's pretty common sense to you. But there's a lot of people out there, I think, who, like me, thought that they were in a safe place. Liliana, I had literally finished writing about a crime-related incident that happened to a woman in her home with 4 men. Just maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles north of where we were. But because we were in Highland Park, I thought, I guess, out of habit, I just take my gun wherever I go. But never in a million years would I have thought that that would have happened in Highland Park. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, and I have one more thing.
Uh-huh.
And also I feel like it was God's plan that, like, when you finished the article, you came there, because, like, you were, like, you spent, like, 30 minutes on that article, and then you came in. I mean, like, that was so Pacific timing, because sometimes I'm with my nanny comes drop me off, and then, like, in that period of time, and I'm so thankful.
I am too, more than you know. I love you.
Love you.
Hi, Bryce.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me here.
Of course.
I know you've joined me before in a very fun part
Yes.
of the segment.
Good
and
food,
we
good
had,
drinks.
good
Yes.
cocktails, good. Oh my gosh, and neither of us are drinking now. I'm like, yes, but thank you for being here.
Of course.
I know you knew how badly affected I was with the event that happened with Lily. I was furious and irate, and then you called me and told me about something that happened to you. It wasn't even a month after
It wasn't.
And so it was a few months ago that this happened. So
It was
we're
the end of November.
yeah, that's right.
And, it's interesting because you mentioned that you had just finished writing an article about a woman.
Yep.
I just went to a board meeting for a charity called Untrafficked, and it opened my eyes about what was going on.
Yep.
And I started getting involved in civic and political things, and my eyes were opening to kind of the horrors that are happening all around us that no one's really talking about. But I live 4 minutes from you in Knox District, one of the safest areas in Dallas, supposedly.
Yep.
I've been incredibly lucky that I haven't faced like dangerous situations in this way. I've had friends that have, but I work hard to be able to afford a place that's expensive because it's safe.
Yep.
And I think, I've been in sketchy situations, but never like this. But I think it's interesting that, our eyes were open to things that we never really faced.
And within weeks of each other.
Yes.
And that has never happened to me in Dallas, Highland Park, you name it. It has not ever happened to me in my time living in this city. That experience that I had with Liliana and then had a week after in Highland Park Village.
With me.
But yeah, and then you. So can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about what happened?
It was a Saturday night, 11 p.m. And there are some office and retail spots in front of my apartment building. And I was driving up to go to the stop sign in front of my building. And as I was driving up down the road, these 2 cars come barreling around the corner, hop this flower bed curb, and come and park right in front of this office retail spot in front of my apartment building. And they're speeding, driving through flowers. Like, what is happening? And I stop at the stop sign that's just happened to be directly in front of them. And they get out of their car. Their cars have completely black tinted windows. Both front and back license plates were removed because I tend to look. I've been trained. We have these discussions. Like you mentioned with Lily.
We're very aware.
We are very aware.
Very.
We are trained and we have these discussions to be safe.
Yep.
So I look for that. They get out of their car. They're in all black, ski mask, like a scene out of a movie.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm like reliving it. It's more difficult than I expected, you know. And I stop and I look and I make direct eye contact with one of them. They all have something in their hands. I don't look. I also am in a panic. You know, you look back at these and go, I did not handle this the way that I was trained to.
Same.
At this point, I don't have my gun. I have a knife and my taser. But in that moment, it was abundantly clear that they were about to go hit this office spot that it's all windows, you can see in, there's all this really high-end technology. So I was like, oh, they're about to rob this place. So I immediately dial 911 on my phone, like hit the emergency button. And then stupidly, and I feel so shameful after the fact, I went to pull into my safety, which was my apartment, which was next door. So I like turn and then go to pull in to the locked garage with security. And I'm on the phone with the operator. I'm like, hey, this block, there's about to be a robbery go down. It's 2 cars. I give the descriptors. They're black ski masks. And I'm pulling into my gate. And as I pull in, I'm on the phone with the operator, who is pretty much useless to me. She's like, oh, cops are backed up. We'll send them when we can. I said, well, when is it going to happen? These men look armed.
And this is in Dallas.
This is in Dallas. This is in Knox District.
Yep.
On the west side of 75, right outside Highland Park, like core Dallas.
Yep.
And the lady, just so nonchalant. And I'm like, there's probably hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tech about to be stolen actively. And I'm seeing it happen.
Yep.
I pull into my apartment building. I'm talking to the operator, and I'm like, oh, of course, here we go. You know, so understaffed. It's not their fault. We know it's not their fault.
Yep.
I've talked to so many officers during the Dallas Hero. I've had so many conversations with them, you know, in support of it for a reason.
Yep.
I pull in, and as I'm going down the hill, I hear brake screeches, and both cars were following in behind me. And they caught the gate as it was closing and it reopened.
Oh my gosh.
And they chased in.
I don't recall this.
And they followed me in while I was on the phone with the operator. And as I'm talking to her, I'm like, and I'm freaking out. And I'm like, I feel so stupid because I knew better. And as they're chasing me, I'm with the operator, I'm like, they just tailgated me and both of them are behind me. What do I do? What do I do? And I'm panicking.
Yep.
She literally told me to quote unquote get to safety and she can't advise me. She gave me no advice. Yeah. And I don't have a gun. And I'm like in a panic. So I'm like looking, are there cars? And I'm laying on the horn. The operator, she's like, what's happening? And I'm like, I'm describing the cars, describing it. I'm like the front and I'm giving the descriptors, like there's no license plate. This is it. I'm trying to describe the 3 men because I'm like, in this moment, I'm like, what's about to happen? Yeah. And I turn the corner, operator, I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And in that moment, she was useless. Yeah. And so I go to turn the corner and to try to like speed around, and one stayed directly behind me. And the other one turned, because you can go down and go to the right and left. The other one turned, the Charger, and sped. And then they locked me in, front and back.
Oh, God.
And all got out of the car.
What?
And so they got out. And now I'm talking to the operator, like, what's happening? At that point, I'm like, grabbing my knife, grabbing my, you know. Yeah. I'm like, please send someone. Like, they're getting out of the car. Yeah. And I think my naive, like, safe brain is like, oh, they're going to take my car, right? You want to think that. But, and I'm freaking out. Operator's not doing anything, saying anything, not sending anybody.
Of course. Yeah.
And then, by the grace of God, I'm praying. That's all, at that point, that's all I had. Yeah. 2 cars pulled into my parking garage, and I lay on my horn. Yeah. And they get back in their vehicles, and they like, and move, and I'd like go around and speed out, and the operator's still on the phone, and I get out, I'm like, I got, where do I go? What if they follow me? She's like, the officer didn't send anyone. Still at that point had not changed the urgency of the call. And I go, and I like just wanted to get to people. And so there's a gas station in the area and it was full of cars. So I go and I just go sit in the park. I'm like, please send someone. I'm like, what do I do? Like, where do I go? Again, feels foolish I know where to go. I know what to do. But in that moment, it was just, I mean, I'm shaking thinking about it. It's
awful.
And so I sit in the gas station and I can like look at my building, because I also was like, you need to send someone right now. They're still in the parking garage. Like the trucks that just pulled in, they had followed me out too, because I think they could tell something was going on. But I know there's all these young women that live in the building, and I'm like, you need to send someone right now. Like they're still in they're in the gate. Like they are in the gate right now. And it's 11 p.m. on a Saturday. Like people are active at this point. And she says nothing. Like, I can't advise you, just get to safety. I'm like, where, you know? And I wait, and then I see them pull out, and they go, and they move, and I watch them like pull on the highway and just flee.
Yep.
Hung up on 911. She's like, I'm sending officers, and I'm like, when? She's like, I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm like, great, perfect. And I'm just shaking, praying, thanking God, nervous. I'm like, what if they target? Like, what if they come back?
Yeah, they know your car.
They know my car. They know where I
drove
live.
in, or probably would assume that you live there.
Yeah. And so it was 11:02 when I called 911. I was on the phone with them for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
What's the average call supposed to be?
I don't know.
Less than 7 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of
so
course.
I'm saying,
I'm like, I don't know.
It's like that, I think.
Yeah.
And so I get off the phone, 911. I at this point, I just want to lock myself in my bed, like in my apartment, in my bedroom, and just, that was like the one thing I just wanted in that moment. So they were gone. I waited and waited and waited. Eventually, I'd driven home, got to my apartment, just a mess. Cops call me, the officers, 32 minutes later. And I tell them what happened. And they tell me that they're on their way and they'll be there in 10 minutes. And I wait. And I wait. And I wait. 2 hours later. It's an unknown number. You can't call them back. I'm not going to... It took a while for anyone to answer. I'm not going to flood that. At the point, I knew they're not coming.
Yeah.
So I waited till like 2 a.m.
What did the officers say?
They told me nothing. They just said, well, we need you to be there to like... We're coming to check to make sure they're gone. Do a check on the floors to get your statement. I was like, well, how long am I supposed to wait? Because they wouldn't initially tell me, like, we're 10 minutes away. And then obviously they got called somewhere else or back, a million other things. Or they lied to appease me. I don't know. I don't blame
Did they ever
them
show?
either. They never showed up. And I never got a call back from them either. And I talked to my leasing center. There was no investigation.
And so at this point, if you had a redo, what would you do differently?
I wouldn't have stopped at the stop sign. And I would have just driven off.
Yep.
And not pulled in. I feel so stupid. Like that's...
I didn't call the Highland Park police.
Yeah.
So do you know how stupid that is? I mean, I reiterate that fact so often because I get so mad at myself, because had they come, because their response time in Highland Park is fast. And that's why we live there. And I didn't call them. And they could have detained 6 guys who were up to no good. God knows what they were going to do. Yeah. Why were they going to go in there with 3 women?
We're dealing with hardened criminals that have no fear.
Okay, so here's what I wanted to say. And this is really, really important. I was going to interview someone from Venezuela to talk about what these people are like. This gentleman wanted to be behind a wall, did not want his name to be known. He told me that he never once thought about getting a gun while in America until he realized the type of people that were coming here from his home country. He's from Venezuela, and he has a lot of insight as to how they operate. And he said, these people aren't here for robbery. They're here to kill. They kill. Maybe it's more lucrative for them to traffic people. I don't know. I can't speak to it. I'm not from Venezuela. But we are surrounded now by people who are not afraid of guns. They are not afraid to cause harm. They're not afraid of perceived safe areas. People that are living in bubbles like us, they're not bubbles.
They're not.
They're not.
No.
They're not bubbles. And I mean, after that point, I have not gone anywhere. Normally, I might even be a little bit lax, and I'd say, okay, I'm going here. I'm not going to carry inside of here, or I carry everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. And now I take pepper spray to hand out to additional people after that event so that I can give it to people who are with me. Thank you for being with us. Bryce, thank you for being here. Liliana, thank you for coming on and talking with us. Love you. After covering these very difficult conversations and topics, I just wanted to end on a lighter, more upbeat tone. On days when the weather is bad, or if it's a little too cold, or if tennis just isn't your thing, I thought it'd be fun to round up some of my friends and go play some pickleball. We went to the brand new Pickleball Kingdom Dallas North. It's right off the Dallas North Tollway, just south of Spring Valley. And let me tell you, if pickleball has been on your radar, this place is absolutely amazing, and I promise you're gonna love every minute of it. Be sure to tell Lucky, the general manager, that you saw this beautiful place on Let's Talk Local. Thanks so much for being here.
So we are at Pickleball Kingdom. I'm here with some of my really good friends. We wanted to just try something different. None of us are pickleball players, so to speak. We're all kind of novice. I played maybe once or twice in my life. I dabble in tennis as of late. I never grew up playing it. And also following that really heavy commentary that just happened, I thought, okay, this is indoors. It's like 40 degrees outside, so we're here. Some are more fashionable than others, but it's a new place that just opened off the toll road. And let me introduce you to these amazing women. This is Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I've never
Have you played?
I've never played before.
Okay, you've never played.
I've never played, but I want to learn. So I'm glad to be here, yeah.
Yes, and then I told you my stuff. This is Julia.
I'm Julia, and I've played a few times. I did read that last year pickleball was the #1 injury in the country. So
I think it's because a lot of maybe seniors, playing.
But I played. I'm pretty competitive. We'll see how it goes.
And then Alexa.
Hi, I'm Alexa. And I only played pickleball with my son. Oh, that's about it. Yeah. But, we hit the ball, but I'm a tennis player, so I think it kind of comes to me.
She's the one tennis player. Do you play tennis? Do you play tennis?
I don't play tennis.
I haven't played in years, so no.
Okay, I didn't grow up playing. So I think so she'll probably crush us.
All are kind of like competitive.
So they're an alcohol-free environment. So people are here to play and to sweat. So that's why we're gonna strip a little bit and see what it's like. They offer Pickleball 101 for pickleball curious people. I'm not sure if Lucky, the manager or the GM, is gonna be able to talk to y'all about it, but I am excited to play. I'm gonna be YouTubing some tips and tricks on the rules because that's how novice we are. And yeah.
And now it goes to 14 points.
Yeah, see, I don't even know that.
Yeah, no.
But we will come up to speed very quickly. Okay.
I love to be bad at something.
You all look like you're ready. The skirts, team pants. Oh, hi, Erin. You're able to help us? Okay, so is there any way you could just instruct us on what we're doing? Because right now we're just hitting.
Sure. So you drop the ball and okay, yeah. So every time that you play a point out, it's basically a rally, right? And the only way that you can score a point is when the serving team wins their rally.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Clear.
That
tracks.
Yeah.
Right. you basically have your two sides of the court. And you get to switch sides when you are the serving team every single time that you score a point.
Only when you score.
Only when you score, and you can only score when you are
Serving.
Okay? So if you stop the serving team from scoring, it's called a side out. So kind of like volleyball, if you ever played volleyball.
Yeah.
So side out. It takes 2 side outs in order for the other team to get their chance to start serving.
Okay.
Okay?
Do you get 2 turns?
You only get 1 chance to get your serve
With
in.
doubles, right?
Yeah, well, same thing in singles. You only get 1 chance to get your serve in. So
Okay.
tennis.
Okay.
Okay?
What if it's in here, lands in here?
In the kitchen.
On your serve.
Lands in the kitchen, it's a fault. So
Okay.
it would go to either the next server
Ah.
or it would go to the opposite side depending on what side out you were on.
Got it. Okay.
Don't have like a let when it like hits the
So if you're playing in the pro division, you would play a let.
Oh gosh.
Then this year,
Pro pickleball.
provisionally, they're thinking about implementing the let for all divisions.
Okay.
So may or may not happen.
This is cool.
Oh yes,
I could totally get on board with this.
Yes.
Okay. A way that we could just like pretend that we're playing a game.
Absolutely.
And then you can say, this is when you would switch, this is when you would.
Sure.
So can people get memberships here?
Absolutely.
How much are the memberships?
That's hard for me to know because it's really my first day on site.
Oh, gotcha. Congratulations.
Oh, that's a grand opening, right?
No, the grand opening is
The grand opening was the 11th. All the pricing stuff is up there.
cool.
Well,
Yeah.
basically what it gets you is unlimited free open plays, because if not, you normally have to pay for those. There's 3 open plays a day, 7 days a week. So there's a 7 to 10, 11 to 2,
Got it.
5 to 8.
Gotcha.
And then,
Shannon says it was packed whenever she came here last week.
yeah. And then so we also have free 101 pickleball classes for like beginners. Those are all included in your memberships.
Okay, cool.
If you wanted like additional lessons, so like if it was with me or another coach, then there's different rates that are associated with that. But it
Cool.
it also gives you access to like booking and reserving courts during non-open play times.
Neat, yeah.
And certain discounts on like tournaments that we host or different social events that are also hosted.
Amazing. Cool. Okay, thank you.
wanna try it?
Yeah, we'll try.
Yeah, let's do
We'll
it.
try and do our
You guys start.
deal. Oh,
So that would be a fault.
a fault.
Y'all's team started, they're gonna get the service.
Yes.
So the score is 0-0.
But I need to be ready to move back, right?
I flat bounce, right?
Oh! Oh!
Nice.
Oh!
Right. Sweet. Switch.
There you go.
And so it's 1-0.
1-0. Let's go.
Nice. Anything goes.
Out! Oh.
Nice. Good job.
Good. Ah! Woo!
Yes.
Oh!
Oh, nice. Power.
Oh! Woo! But they. That's 4.
Oh,
Oh! Okay.
is that your face? I admire your dedication.
Alexa, that was perfect. Oh man. Yep.
No pressure.
She can take it. Nice.
We won! We won!
After the game, everyone comes up to the center of the net, and you gently tap paddles.
Oh.
No.
That's cool. Cool.
That's nice. Cool.
I like it.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first pickleball game.
Yeah.
I've just
Same.
taken a lesson.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And it
Cool.
only gets better.
Cool. And honestly, I have to say, I didn't think that there was much of a workout before playing this, because I was always like, I'd rather learn how to play tennis and like really like run across the court. But this, I can see how you can like
Yeah, so
get some movement.
better you get.
I could absolutely do this, especially since it's more social than just being at the gym.
Right. 100%.
And then I get really tired of just like I love those workouts, but just to kind of vary it. And then since tennis, it's too cold right now. I know. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah, come on in.
This was so fun. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you guys. I know it was super last minute.
That was great.
And just kind of looking for something that's in the theme of being indoors and safer. I was like, that's a good location.